Did you have a really good first week of school? And some of you I know may not have gone back yet, but I know a lot of you have started to go back. And it's a lot of fun, isn't it? I know. Lots of fun listening and learning. You know what time it is. Snazzy time, story hour, snazzy time, story hour. Yay! Oh, I think Miss Daisy Blue is ready to see you. Here she is. Hello, Miss Daisy Blue. How are you? Oh, I'm fine. And it was so much fun. This week I had school too. You did? Oh. And what did you learn in school, Miss Daisy Blue? I learned how to stay in line. I learned how to eat my lunch. Yes. Oh, well, good. See, everyone keeps learning, boys and girls. And guess what? Miss Tanya has another fun story for you today, for you to listen and learn that I really think that some of you might be learning about in school. So let's get on with our story today. Isn't that right, Miss Daisy Blue? Yay! Okay, well, we're going to see you a little bit later, Miss Daisy Blue, okay? Okay, bye-bye. Okay, boys and girls, Miss Tanya has got a nice story. But before I do my story, I'm going to do a fun little rhyme with you, and it's called Zoom Zoom. And you've probably heard about this little rhyme before. Let's do it with me. Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. If you wanna take a trip, climb aboard my rocket ship. Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off! Yay! We're gonna just blast off right into our next story today, boys and girls. And guess what? Last week we read a story about going back to school. Kind of going back to school. It was the gym teacher from the Black Lagoon. Well, this time it's a lot different. What I'm going to do now is read this story called The Magic Boot. Yes, and I really like this story. And it's so much fun to read, as I know that in school you're really learning to have a good time right now. And of course you're learning all the rules because you're being good listeners and learners at the same time. So let's sit all the way down, get our eyes ready and our ears ready for listening so that we can listen to the story called The Magic Boot. But before I do the story, you know Miss Tanya likes to go through the parts of the book. We've got the front of the book, we've got the back of the book, and we've got the spine of the book. And then, boys and girls, we've got some of the pictures. Oh, look at this picture right here. This nice village. Oh, I can tell that this must have been done a long time ago. Oh, let's take a look right here. Look at all of what we see. There's something that's coming from the sky. Aha! Oh, look at this. What is that? Yes, it is. It's a boot. When I say the word boot, what is the beginning sound that you hear? You got it. Boot. And we've got more. Oh, what did he do? He put on that boot. I wonder what's going to happen. He looks like he's splashing in water. And he is just going on and on with his boot on. So I'm not going to go through all of the pictures this time because I think it might spoil the story. So I'm going to go ahead and start reading the story called The Magic Boot. And this one is by Remi, Simard, and Pierre, Pratt. They are the authors and the illustrators of the story. And just in case you're not sure, the author writes the story and the illustrator draws the pictures. The Magic Boot. In a little country where people were very poor, there lived a woman who was terribly discouraged. Her son Pippo had enormous feet, and they would not stop growing. Pippo's feet grew so fast that he could win a race without even moving. When Maria, Pippo's little sister, went off to work in the fields, the boy and his mother would go begging for money to buy shoes. "Money for his poor feet, money for his poor feet," called his mother to the people walking by. A good fairy, who happened to be in the neighborhood, decided to help the boy whose feet by now were so as long as water skis. From his window door, next to Roberto Green and Envy watched as the good fairy with his 2 waves of her magic wand made 2 magnificent red boots appear. Ooh. He couldn't believe his eyes, his ears, or his nose. "Here, Pippo, here's a magic pair of boots," said the fairy. "When they get too small, just water them and they will grow. But be careful, don't water them too much." Pippo was so happy that he went skipping off in his new boots. "I wish I had boots like that too," grumbled jealous Roberto, who had been spying on Pippo. Is it nice to spy on people? No, it's not, boys and girls. And you shouldn't be jealous either. Being jealous isn't very nice. Without thinking of the fairy's warning, Pippo jumped in all the puddles. Splish, splash, splish! Splish, splash, splush! But as the water licked his boots, they grew bigger and bigger and became much too large for Pippo's feet. At the last puddle, he tripped and fell and came face to face with a bunch of enormous hairy toes. Enormous? That's a really big word, isn't it? Can you say that word? Enormous. Yes, that means it's really, really big. Aha! Finally, my dinner has arrived, roared the terrible, horrible owner of the toes. "Oh, please, Mr. Orc, don't eat me. I'm skinny and bony and really dirty." But Hector the Orc loved to eat skinny, bony, dirty children, even if the dirt did get stuck between his teeth. He thought Pippo would make an excellent meal. Wait a minute, Mr. Orc. I have a bargain for you," said Pippo, who was quite a little businessman. "I'll give you my boots if you don't eat me." "I don't need boots," the Orc roared. "Oh no, what does he mean?" "An Orc without boots is no Orc at all," Pippo declared. to sit down and eat barefoot is just not done. Pippo managed to convince the orc, who proudly put on his new boots. Pippo went back to his house, happy to have saved his life, but sorry to have lost his boots. The orc also went home. Roberto, who envied everyone and everything, was there. Having overheard Pippo and the orc, he's had run as fast as could to the orc's house. He had to steal those boots. Uh-oh. Is that very nice? No. We cannot do that. What's he doing that he shouldn't be doing? Yes, he's stealing. You can't do that. No. Roberto trembled in his hiding place behind the chest of drawers. Suddenly, he was afraid of ending up like a tiny noodle in a big tomato sauce. Night fell, and the orc took off his boots to go to bed. As big snores rattled the window panes, Roberto slipped out of his hiding place and put on the boots. He escaped from the orc's house with his new footwear. He ran like the wind until he has no wind left in him, crossing fields and forests and streams, which was not a good idea. It was not. We're gonna find out why. As soon as the boots touched the water, they grew bigger and bigger, and as soon became too heavy for Roberto. He was so angry at not being able to wear them that he decided to bury them separately in a field. If he couldn't have them, nobody else could either. Oh, now that's not a very good attitude, is it? No. Roberto just needs to get his little act together. Several days later, Maria, Pippo's little sister, was planting some seeds in the field. She took her watering can and watered them. Suddenly, a giant red shape grew out of the earth. Maria poured on more water, and the shape grew larger. She yanked as hard as she could and pulled a boot out of the ground. It was her brother's boot. Maria decided to bring the magic boot home and give it back to Pippo. Would you look at that, boys and girls? It's a really big boot. What made it that big? Yes, it was the water, wasn't it? At first, Pippo was delighted to get one of his boots back. But what good was it? He could not wear it. It was much too big for him. Too big for his little country. A country where people were always stepping on his feet. A country that was too small for someone whose feet kept growing. When Maria saw how sad her brother was, she had an idea. She rolled up her little sleeves and flexed her small muscles. Then she picked up the boot and tossed it into the sea. When the boot hit the water, it started growing bigger and bigger until it became Italy. And when you're in school, boys and girls, this is called geography. Italy. And it's a cute little story about how the country Italy came about. Isn't that lovely? All from one magic boot. Well, you know it's that time, boys and girls. And I hope you enjoyed our lovely story about the magic boot. It's time for Miss Daisy Blue to come back and say goodbye to all our friends, our precious boys and girls. Here she is. So what did you think about the magic boot, Miss Daisy Blue? Yeah, I loved it, I loved it, I loved it. What did you like about the story the most? I like how I learned that you should never be greedy or jealous. You're right. You'll never want to be greedy and you never want to be jealous. Because that's what happened with Roberto. And we don't want to be like Roberto. Okay, boys and girls? So I want you to go on this weekend and go to your nearest library so that you can pick up the magic boot. And then you can get some more books that are your favorites so that you can keep reading, so that you can get smarter and smarter with each passing day. Isn't that right, Miss Daisy Blue? Yay! Okay, boys and girls, it's time to say goodbye. Mwah! Till the next time, boys and girls.